Hi everyone, I'm MaryAnn. I'm a visual artist and voice coach from Singapore, currently in Singapore, and welcome to another installment of my weekly vlog series, Live Your Dream. So this is where I share what I'm learning in my journey as an artist, as a voice coach, as someone who is all about pursuing what matters to me, like my passion, my dreams, stuff that really calls out to me, and ultimately walking on what I believe is my true path. We only have this one life to live that we know of, and in this one lifetime, I am the kind of person that wants to make the most of it. And not so much like, you only live once, YOLO, let's go, fulfill all kinds of stuff on our bucket list kind of way. Like, not so much for the sake of just doing that, but more creating a worthy and meaningful purpose for myself and walking a path that I feel truly resonates with me, such that I can say that, I did my best to live this life as true as possible to who I am as a person. So it is my intention by recording this vlog series to share what I've learned and what I'm learning, with the intention of inspiring you, motivating you, encouraging you to also embark on a path that is true to who you are and something that really matters to you. Could be your dreams, could be your passions, whatever it is. I'm here to share something along there, and at the very least, every single week and that you can count on me to show up and share something about my journey so far, so that you know that at the very least you're not alone in your journey. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments, or you can also directly message me through any one of my social media links, which are in the write-ups attached to these videos. So this past weekend I attended an online course by my mentor and teacher, and it was called True Path, and essentially it is about how do we discover this path that we are walking on in this life, or what is that path all about. It's not something that can easily be put into words, and I am still kind of integrating from what I've learned over the weekend. So there's still a lot of stuff that's kind of like, whoa, mind blown, and then I don't know what to do with it yet. So I'm still integrating from that, and maybe I will share more of that as I unfold this, and unfold certain understandings along the way. But one thing that did stand out for me over the weekend was this whole notion of being not good enough. So basically, my mentor and teacher, he is a master life coach, and well, he's more than just a master life coach. He's a master in many, many different areas, and one of the things that he was calling us out on in this program was that every single time we think we want to do something, every time we feel called to do something, whether it's your dream, whether it's just something you want to explore, somehow some people, well, most people to some extent, would have this conversation of like being not good enough. So we'll tell ourselves a lot of times that we're not good enough to pursue whatever it is that we really want to. So it was the same for me even as an artist, where years ago, before I did my first solo exhibition, I hadn't drawn anything for 20 years because I was discouraged from pursuing my childhood artist dream, and I didn't go to art school. And so when I came back to this childhood dream again and said, okay, I'm gonna be an artist, it's like every single time I sat down to draw something, it's like, it's just not good enough. I'm not good enough. What am I even doing? Is this even meant for me? Maybe it's not meant for me because I'm not good enough. So I'm not good enough is a very common reason why people don't really pursue the things that really matter to them, or go after that dream that matters to them. And basically my teacher just kind of like put it out there and called us out on this and said, you know what, if you feel that you are not good enough to walk whatever path you want to walk, if you feel you're not good enough for whatever it is that you really want to do and whatever it is you want to explore, then guess what? The truth is that if you feel you're not good enough, you're most likely not good enough. Like, you're most definitely not good enough. So here's the thing with this whole notion of not good enough. To set a little bit of context, basically we are shaped by our experiences, right? And for the most part, our formative years, so like from the time you were born up to about 10 years old, a lot of our personality and how we view the world and how we view ourselves gets shaped during those first 10 years of our lives. And specifically, they are shaped from the events that we perceive to be traumatic. So I'm not going to delve too much into that, okay? But the point I'm making is that if you feel that you're not good enough, if you feel that, every time you want to pursue something, it's like, I'm not good enough for that, or, you want to date someone, I'm not good enough for this person, that not good enough comes from somewhere, some traumatic experience that you had when you were like, a kid. And in order to really deal with that, like once and for all, like, get rid of this sense of not good enough, there are programs and there are ways to go about doing that. It's not something that would magically just disappear, or like you can't just meditate it away, you can't just like chant it away. Like you have to actually kind of revisit that incident in a certain way, in a certain process, in order for you to access that. But in the meantime, while we are not able to access that yet, where we are right now, it's not like we can't do anything about it. Okay, so basically, if you feel that you're not good enough, it's an indication for you really that there is something there to work on. So instead of using not good enough as a reason to not do the thing that you want to do, not good enough then becomes a reason for you to get good enough at whatever that thing is. And this means, identifying very objectively exactly what you mean when you say you're not good enough. Is it because you don't have a skill set that you need? Is it because you do have the skill set, but you're just like in the beginning stages, and it's like, you see the gap that you have to cover in order to get to the level that you want to be, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's insane, so I'm not good enough. Yeah, or is it a feeling of, that you are not worthy, or that you feel that people would see you as a fraud or something, like whatever that is for you. Okay, so the first step is you want to identify exactly what you mean when you say not good enough. When you would think of yourself as being not good enough, and then after that, from figuring out exactly what that kind of not good enough is for you, then you can figure out what are your next steps. And here's the thing, anything that is a skill set based thing, you can learn it, you can practice. It takes a lot of practice, it takes a lot of discipline, it takes a lot of consistently showing up to do something about it. And of course, it also requires some level of practicing in the right way, or practicing in a way that's most forwarding for you. So this is where it's useful to work with a coach or someone who is specialized in that area of whatever skill set you want to learn, such that you can find the best way forward for you to learn whatever that thing is that you want to. Because sometimes learning it on your own can be really tricky, especially if you don't have someone to hold you accountable. But the point I'm making here is that any skill set can be learned. Okay, and if it's a qualification based thing, then find some way to go and get that qualification that you need. If it's an emotional thing where you feel that you're not good enough, then hang around people who actually believe in you and who could give you an objective assessment of your skill set level, and also give you that kind of emotional support and affirm you and validate you. So I'm not talking about like the delusional kind of validation where like your drawing skills are not that great and the person goes, yeah, it's so beautiful, it's so amazing. I'm talking about like they would tell you, well, yes, it's not that great yet, but it's not like horrible either, like you're actually pretty good at these parts, what you need to do is work on these parts or something. And you know what, it's a long journey, I'm here for you, I'm going to support you. Whatever it is you need someone to talk to, I'm here. You need someone to remind you of what you're doing this for, I'm here. Like, find some way to create your current environment such that you have people in your life who support you in some way, whether it's to get that skill set, whether it's to get that qualification, whether it's to just get some rewiring of your brain a little bit sometimes, because I know sometimes we get into that downward spiral of, oh, I'm not good enough and everything I do sucks and blah blah blah, and you kind of need friends who know how to help you get out of that and keep going on that journey. Because walking whatever path you choose, going on whatever journey you choose, pursuing whatever dream you have, it is not an easy journey. Definitely not easy, and it's so easy to stray from that path. So we need to do whatever it takes to keep us on it, and dealing with this not good enough is one of the things that we have to constantly deal with if this is a conversation that you have. So find ways to deal with that. Find ways to make it such that you can say that you are good enough for the thing that you want to pursue, And at the same time, also remember that it is an ongoing journey. You could be not good enough. You could feel that you're not good enough for the rest of your life, and not that it's a bad thing. It's simply something that you can use as a way to keep propelling you forward, to keep improving, to keep growing, to keep expanding yourself, such that you eventually get to where you want to and get to the end of the road on that path that you're walking. So if you have questions about this, feel free to ask them in the comments, or you can also message me through any one of my links in the write-ups attached to these videos. And if you have enjoyed today's video, subscribe to my channel on YouTube, and I'll see you next week.